I've said I want this to be a conversation rather than a presentation. That's why I'm having a chat with you about this. I'm being guided so much by your questions, and
You're listening to
we
Prime
finished last
Definition.
time.
Prime
I said
definition.
Prime
when you've got a
definition.
new hammer,
Prime
sometimes
definition.
everything
Prime
looks like a
definition.
nail.
Prime
You
definition.
can walk
Prime
up to somebody's
definition.
yard,
On
and
the
pull
side
some
of
holes
the
out in the
podcast.
backyard. You go, oh, somebody got a new shovel. They just couldn't quite dig enough. Well, that's the way it is when you get new information about psychological states of mind, about mental, emotional adjustments. You start hearing about this and learning about this, and you start seeing it in yourself, as I said last time, and you start kind of seeing everybody else through that filter. I want to really encourage you against being judgmental about everybody in your life because you're really focused on the narcissistic personality right now. Clearly, we all have some of these traits and characteristics, and sometimes we have them more than others. There's no doubt about it. I've said there are 4 different types that are generally thought of with narcissism: the classic, covert, malignant, and communal. Their biggest weapon is to gaslight. Gaslighting is where if you criticize them, you confront them, you try to problem solve with them, they turn everything around, and before you know it, you're the problem. I've defined as the classic narcissist, this need for constant approval, this self-aggrandizement, this fantasy of superiority, all of these things, and the fact that they're going to blame you for everything. And confronting them is a waste of time. These are people that dwell in what I call the dark triad. It's that mix of personality traits that are Machiavellian, narcissistic, and psychopathic. Now, that doesn't sound like a very good person to spend a weekend with or drive across country with, and it's not. You're exactly right, because all of those traits and characteristics I just reviewed for you put a mean edge on that. It isn't just them over here fluffing themselves up and making themselves out to be great. Now they personalize everything. And remember, I said their number one credo in life is get them before they get me. That's how they think about it. The world's out to get them, and so they're going to go on the attack and get the world before the world gets them. So that means they're always in attack mode. What I want you to think about is if you have really identified, it's not just that you're super sensitized to this, but you have really identified someone as a malignant narcissist. You've seen them exploit people. You've seen them exploit you. You've seen them come to you and brag about how they manipulated and jerked somebody else around. So you know they're not ashamed of it. You know they take pride in it. You've seen them gaslight people, or you've seen them gaslight you. Okay? If that's the case, then you need to be aware that this person will use you, will abuse you, and you need to have your guard up, because this is somebody that you don't want to have in your life. You know, I said if it's not just that you're super sensitized to this, but you really have identified someone like this, what do you do with them? How do you handle somebody like this? So, look, there's a lot of them out there. I said the estimates are that narcissists are maybe 10, 15% of the population, unless you get into management or entertainment, go to Hollywood or wherever. And then it can be as much as 50%. because the world tends to reward aggressive, manipulative people. Not saying it should, because again, you're violating the fundamental principle, don't reward bad behavior. But bad behavior gets rewarded. Think about somebody in your life. Who do you know that is a loudmouth, manipulative, self-aggrandizing jerk and has been rewarded for it? Maybe they're the manager, maybe they're the boss, maybe they've got the person in their life you wish you had in yours, maybe they're the most popular or seem to be at the moment or whatever. Our world tends to reward that kind of thing. Now, I think we're actually cultivating narcissism. Think about it. How many selfies do you think the average teenager, 20-something takes? And just think about the term selfie. They're taking pictures of themselves. For somebody from my generation, you took pictures of other people. You took pictures of other things. This the whole idea of selfie, taking a picture. Isn't that kind of narcissistic? Isn't that kind of self-aggrandizing? And then you not only take the picture, but we now have platforms. We call them social platforms, but we should call them selfie platforms, because that's where people take pictures of themselves and they aggrandize it as much as possible and then put them out there for everybody else to vote on. If a teen puts up a picture and it gets 500 likes, and then they put up another one and it gets only 17, they tumble into the depths of depression. So I wonder if we're not cultivating a narcissistic society. But there's that kind of narcissism, and then there's a malignant narcissism. And my whole point about malignant narcissism is this is a whole other level of menacing here. These are people that are out to get you. They weaponize narcissism. They are not your friend. They're not just over there thumping their own chest and being the
You're
center of
listening
attention
to
at a
Prime
party.
Definition.
Prime
It's
definition.
malignant
Prime
in that
definition.
they're
Prime
going to do it at
definition.
your expense.
Prime definition.
Prime definition.
They're
Prime
going to
definition.
use
On
On
Foresight
Foresight
FM
and
podcast.
exploit you to get further along in their life.